On the news tonight, all Progressives Congress governors to use state chairman against President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure elongation. In business, federal government approves construction of a liquefied petroleum gas extraction plant in Rivers State. And on the foreign scene, Syria air raids kill 30 civilians. Hello there, and many thanks for joining us on Superscreen's flagship news, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Adenike Owoye Ajiboye. Report says about 18 All Progressives Congress APC governors have moved against the plot to use state chairman of the party against President Muhammadu Buhari at the National Executive Committee meeting of the party on Monday. Some leaders of the party and a few governors had held a secret session with the state chairman in Abuja to persuade them to mount a block vote against the president's proposal for Congress's national convention. Although the meeting was boycotted by some state chairmen, some forces behind tenure elongation were hopeful that Buhari's proposal would be defeated on Monday. Also, there were indications that the national chairman of the APC, John Odige Oyegun, and the members of the National Working Committee NWC members are facing another dilemma if they want to recontest their various offices. The omnibus provisions in APC Constitution makes it compulsory for Oyegun and all NWC members to resign at least 30 days prior to the date of nomination or party primary for the office he or she is seeking. The presidency has reacted to a backlash from members of the Senate Committee on Appropriation of the federal government's social investment program. In a statement about the senior special assistant to the vice president, Laolu Akonde said the presidency singled out Senator Goje for blame, describing comment as irresponsible statement. Members of the committee have picked holes in the implementation of the social investment program, saying the government has nothing to show for the 1.5 trillion naira it's attracted since inception. While appearing before the committee to defend the 2018 budget, the lawmakers demanded the special advisor to the President of Social Investment, Miriam Uwais, to provide the names of the beneficiaries of the social intervention program from their various states, which the agency promised to submit. An appeal has been made to Lagos road users to obey traffic rules and regulations while driving. The Chief Executive Officer of LASTMA, Chris Olakpe, made the appeal in an interview with Superscreen News in Lagos.
I want to appeal to members of the public to cooperate with us as we move traffic forward and to cooperate in the area of professionalism and in the area of not driving without distraction. What I mean by driving without distraction is that you cannot drive at the same time, make calls, cannot drive at the same time, texting, and you must drive with your seatbelt on to save your life.
The LASTMA CEO also called on Lagos residents to report every unprofessional conduct of the officials as it gave the agency's public complaints response unit number, assuring that disciplinary action will be taken against them.
I also want to call on members of the public to also interface with us and report their conduct whenever they are violating their rights to, or whenever they are behaving in a way to extort or corrupt themselves. So I would like to tell them that they can always get us on the following lines, one of which is 081 299 28646. 081 299 28646. That number is the LASTMA Public Complaints Response Unit. So when they articulate or orchestrate any complaint, observation, or information to that unit, probable and possible action will be taken to ameliorate the condition.
CEO of Lastima Chris Solakwe speaking there. Now, Kaduna State politician and former Senator Adati Baba Ahmed has joined the 2019 presidential race in the country. Baba Ahmed media's team described him as a young and vibrant Nigerian who has the credentials to move Nigeria to the next level, maintaining that he is capable of unifying the country and bringing peace to all the regions. Adati Baba Ahmed, who studied economics at the University of Westminster, United Kingdom, is recommended as the needed man for a moment when the nation's economy is on its knees. The senator representing Rivers East Senatorial District, Andrew Uchendu, on the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC, says there is no crisis in the party. Uchendu, who disclosed this to journalists in Port Harcourt, said the pursuit of interest by members of the party could not constitute crisis for the party in the state. The senator described a recent APC stakeholders meeting in Rivers as a convergence of Senator Abe's supporters. He said his colleague Senator Abe could not say the meeting he had with his supporters was an expanded Rivers APC meeting. Uchendu also denied the rumor that he would no longer campaign for elected position after the 2015 election. The General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, has prayed for the immediate release of all the abducted schoolgirls still in Boko Haram captivity. This formed part of his sermon at the church's April 2018 Holy Ghost service and vigil held at its prayers ground in Mowe, Ogun State. The monthly program was attended by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo and his wife Dolapo, as well as thousands of Christian faithful. Adeboye also expressed joy at the release of 105 students of the Federal Government Science and Technical College, Dapchi Yobe, by Boko Haram terrorists. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tekro Buratai, says the Nigerian Army will continue to sustain its commitment to Nigeria's security. Buratai disclosed this at the second edition of the 2018 Procurement Awareness Seminar held in Abuja with the theme Optimizing the Operational Capabilities of the Nigerian Army through an Effective Procurement System. Buratai said the operational capability of the Nigerian Army depends largely on the availability of requisite hardware, highly trained personnel, and other essential resources.
The security challenges facing our dear country manifest in the forms of terrorism, insurgency, separatist movements, and banditry, among others. Thus, there is no gainsaying the fact that the operational capability of the Nigerian Army today largely depends on the availability of requisite hardware, highly trained personnel, and other essential resources.
In his address, Chairman House Committee on Army, Remande Shawulu, said the National Assembly will identify with the Nigerian Army in its efforts to create a transparent and accountable procurement system that will support increasing operational responsibilities.
One major area that we have actually faced as we try to build consensus on the need to open new windows of funding for the military is the recurring issue and allegations of lack of transparency and accountability. No doubt the Army and indeed the armed forces have been in the eye of the storm with regards to the allegations, confessions, and investigations by anti-corruption agencies.
Remade Shawulu, Chairman House Committee on Army, speaking there. The Nigerian Army says its troops have killed 5 Boko Haram insurgents in a gun battle at a banking industry area of Adamawa State. The Director, Army Public Relations Brigadier General Texas Chuku said that the troops engaged and killed the insurgents following a distress call from hunters on Friday. He said the terrorists on site and the troops opened fire, which resulted in a gun battle that led to 5 Boko Haram terrorists neutralized, with some of them escaping into nearby caves. Chuku further disclosed that the troops recovered 5 AK-47 rifles, 5 magazines, and 22 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition. The police has arrested Herder with a 1 AK-47 rifle and 7.62 ammunition in Isigwe Ibakwa community in Ukanu East local government area of Enugu State. The Enugu Police Command spokesman Ebere Amaraizu said the suspect was arrested at a farmland in the community. Amaraizu said the arrest was made possible because of prompt response to a distress call and intelligence information received from the residents of the community. He said the suspected herder is now helping the police in the full scale of investigations. The Kwara State Commissioner of Police, Lawan Ado, says 7 suspects have been arrested in connection with the robbery of banks in Offa local government area of Kwara State. Armed robbers had on Thursday robbed a Union Bank, Eco Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, First Bank, Zenith Banks, and Ibolo Microfinance Bank. The CP Lawan Ado, during a media briefing in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, said the number of injured victims are yet to be ascertained on the basis that they are receiving treatment at different hospitals. He said Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris has ordered a full scale of investigation into the bank attacks. April 7 is a World Health Day, and it is a Global Health Awareness Day celebrated under the sponsorship of the World Health Organization, WHO. The theme for this year's celebration of Global Health Day is "A Good Health Adds Life to Yours." It is a known and popular saying that health is wealth, regardless of the amount of cash individuals have in their accounts. This means a deficient health is tantamount to poverty. WHO, as an international body, is saddled with the responsibility to help people around the world attain the highest possible standard of good health. It also collaborates with governments, organizations, and communities to provide access to responsive health care and give recommendations to policy works. And now coming up in business on the news. Federal government approves construction of liquefied petroleum gas extraction plant in Rivers State. Join us for details of these and more after this time out. Do stay. Well, it's so glad to have you back now in Business World. The federal government has given approval for the construction of a liquefied petroleum gas extraction plant in Rivers State. The Department of Petroleum Resources gave the approval to construct the LPG plant to Green Energy International Limited after it had earlier issued the firm a license to establish the facility. This is coming as the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation said it had executed contracts for the engineering, procurement, construction, commissioning, and financing for lots 1 and 3 of the 40-inch by 614 kilometers Ajaokuta, Kaduna, Kano gas pipeline and stations with a consortium of indigenous and Chinese companies under a 100% contractor financing model. The Director, Legal and Corporate Matters, Green Energy International, Olusegun Ilori, said the federal government gave the nod for the commencement of construction of the 12 million standard cubic feet per day capacity LPG extraction plant at Ikuru town in Rivers State. The federal government says the Niger Basin Authority (NBA) is set to invest $9.33 billion in the region to sustain resources of the basin, which has about 130 million inhabitants. The NBA is an intergovernmental organization in West Africa with the aim to foster cooperation in managing and developing resources of the basin of the River Niger, which is made out of 9 member countries. The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Damu, who spoke on behalf of the Nigerian government at the 36th ordinary session of the NBA in Abuja, also announced the adoption of another $7.2 billion as the organization's operational plan, while $3.11 billion will be spent on its climate resilience investment plan. The NBA's Executive Secretary Abderrahim Hamid said the regional body was working with the World Bank to invest $500 million in the development of resilience to climate change in the basin. A group identified as Environmental Rights Action (ERA) and Friends of the Earth Nigeria (FOEN) has expressed readiness to sue Shell Company over allegations of poor management of gas flaring in Nigerian communities. Executive Director of the group, Dr. Godwin Udo, who discussed this in Benin, said bringing Shell to justice will pave way for more suits from stakeholders in the industry.
It is becoming evident that Shell may be running from its mess, but cannot evade justice. The plans by Friends of the Earth Netherlands to take Shell to court will further embolden impacted communities in the Niger Delta to institute more cases to demand that their lives that have been seized and ruined by Shell's activities are taken back forthwith. The case is supported by Friends of the Earth International, which campaigns for climate justice for people across the world impacted by dirty energy and climate change. Based on these polluters in the fossil fuels industry, that they should be made accountable for their environmental injustices across the globe.
The UNEP 2011 assessment of gold in Nigeria found Shell guilty of community lands and water pollution and gas flaring, which is a major factor in climate change.
There's a saying that if you kill the body without killing the head, you haven't started. So the principle is kill the head and the body will die. Shell is significant among the committee of multinationals destroying our environment globally. So it is germane to take on Shell. Whatever victory you have in court against Shell will translate to greater victories against other multinationals.
We would encourage them to key into it, encouraging the Friends of the Earth, so that any court case they are there as witnesses to the issue on ground, and then justice will give it to them.
That this course is the right course, and we must sustain it. The victory, I am sure, I am very certain that it is achievable and it must be achieved.
Global markets have fallen sharply as a trade dispute intensifies between China and the United States of America, USA. President Donald Trump has threatened to impose another $100 billion worth of tariffs on Chinese imports. But Beijing says it will counter-attack with reciprocal strength. Still ahead on the foreign scene, Syria air raids killed 30 civilians. Join us for details of these and more after this time out.